That yeah, that 1 minute and 49 seconds I'll have to wait of that YouTube video.
An unfortunate amount of time.
We're live. Don't say anything you'll regret.
Ever. The key is just to never regret anything you say. And then Twitch won't ban you, right?
Oh, they're in the draft. Alright, well. Yo.
There it is.
Yo! Well,
Fast
welcome.
and Furious.
This is Metashift Neon Division week number 2. I'm Maris, that's Lane. Yeah, let's fucking go. We got Harvest on the blue side. We've got a team who I didn't actually change their thing. They're UFE? Sure.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Unstoppable Force Esports on the red side. Rodham comes in at 1-0. Unstoppable Force at 0-1. Kale is very upset about this for some reason, if you hear him in the background. Actually, he's barking at his frisbee. He's not upset about this at all. That frisbee's scary, to be fair. But yeah, I'd like everyone to just admire the majesty of this Unstoppable Force Esports logo. So, like, it's a buffalo, and I hate buffaloes.
I really like it.
By default, but the floating second eye is a thing of beauty, honestly. Like, rather than putting 2 on the bison's head, having the extra one floating gives it this sort of ethereal quality. Splash of color. It's really nice. Yeah, Victor Vex, Rengar, Nocturne, Kled, and Katarina. Not going to be seen in this game. Diana's going to be the first pick for Rodham. That's a pretty big flex pick between Death Lotus and Scrams. Saint can probably play it too, although I don't know why you'd want to play it top lane. And we're going to see the Viego and the Seraphine as the counters for UFE. I don't know if I lost lane, but did I lose lane? Maybe he's talking to somebody else. Who knows? Thresh and Twitch locked in. That's pretty much the most played champions for Dugrank and Matsuro, so this feels like a very strong draft for ROTM so far. And UFE is going to have something special to counter it. Lane is still dead. Lane! Wow. Rip. I have no idea what happened to Lane. The Jinx is going to be the counter. That's pretty much the de facto best AD carry right now. Weirdly,
Hello?
Unstoppable Force is going to ban the Malphite. I got Lane back.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, the router just decided to reset randomly, so we're chilling now. I'm back. I was talking, and there was nothing to hear, so I hope I didn't miss too much here.
No, we're into second phase of bans. We'll have, an hour and a half to talk about the draft, so not really that big a deal.
Not worried at all.
We're getting rid of Bronzodia champions, so that's nice. Malphite and Mumu both gone. Mordekaiser out of here. You'd imagine this is, I mean, this has to be solo lane focus probably.
Right.
I know in particular Harvest was more worried about their mid laner, who is Unstoppable Force's highest ranked player. Again, this is a points league, so you can have really varied rank compositions for your teams. So RTM is very much like just a gold team. They're all gold. They're all gold-ish at least. And UFE has some silver players and has a plat 2. So you've got the further mixture for them, and they're going to pick up Ari for Boki Boy, their highest ranked player.
So far, just some honestly pretty decent comps. They look like, you know, something you'd see at LCS for the most part. I mean, you've got a lot of premier champions in the meta. I think Twitch probably being the only thing that's outside of that, but a lot of good pickups here. Both teams drafting very solidly.
Even then, I think, didn't Johnson pick it up for FlyQuest?
Oh, I'm not saying it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's not the
It's like
not the
fringe
premier
meta.
stuff.
And there's the
Yeah.
set for Lil Saints, so kind of interesting. That's going to be the Diana flex to mid lane then for Death Lotus, into the Ari, and then more than likely the Volibear jungle with the set top.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think it's going to be a really fun game with these two comps. It's going to be a lot of team fighting, so it should set up for a pretty exciting series.
Yeah, and last pick for UFE going to be the Gragas, the big neutralizing pick up in the top lane.
Yeah, if you ever just are in a spot and you have no idea what to draft top lane, just put Gragas up there. Like, I feel like the champ is just an immovable rock in top lane. He doesn't lose, he doesn't win, he's there. He exists. He's gonna take whatever you put in top lane and just make it a farming matchup pretty much.
I feel like Scion does the same thing to an extent, but
Yeah.
We're readying up on the draft, but yeah, two relatively meta compositions. The big highlights, I think, are Duvranga's Twitch and Metsuro's Thresh, though. Real pocket pick hours now.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see in this bot lane what ends up happening. If Thresh can land some hooks early and get Twitch ahead, it's going to be pretty good for whoever's bot lane ends up getting ahead. But yeah, if the Seraphine Jinx kind of get out of lane without being punished very much, then I think they scale into the late game just slightly better. But as with hook champions, you know, you're never really out if you just land a good hook sometime in the game. So
I'm still not used to having the dog in the background. It's quite jarring. Currently, so
just distracting, or
so we have this, we call it the puppy arena. It's like a foldable
like a baby
enclosure,
cage.
basically. Yeah. And his
Vygar in real life.
his frisbee is on top of the cage, and he's trying to get it by being inside of it and jumping up against the top of it and barking at it. It's not really working out for him, but you know, you got to give it the try.
Yep. Come up with a new strat, you know. But you gotta experiment, limit test a little bit.
Well, as we watch the second draft, again, this is week number 2 of Neon Division. RTM started off really strong in week 1. Really made a statement with their first 2 games. Looked very dominant. UFE fell in 2 games in their first match, so they're really looking to bounce back now and get back on track. But it's a big matchup for both teams, even this early in the season. You want to get headed in the right direction, and yeah. Also,
I feel like drafting wise,
sorry.
teams looking pretty good.
Yeah. Also wanted to give a shout out to Crowstorm and Darkwind, whose seasons finished yesterday. Crowstorm with the very serious 3-1 win over Darkwind, but was really impressed by the performance of both of those teams. Honestly, just really enjoyed casting them, as I have all of our teams, but it was really remarkable and really fun to get to watch their playoff run
Yeah.
from this seat. So
Yeah, I'll miss the duo casts. Get it, casting both series and flipping back and forth on Sundays in those best of fives. So
Yeah, that was a mess, but um, kind of sad to see Runeterra Academy go by the wayside. But we're in Metashift with this team, and we'll hopefully find a good home for for our other boys. But um, just wanted to give them all a shout out. I don't know if any of them are watching, but really appreciated all of the content from them and all of the lively banter. It's weird,
yeah,
like it's very different from like the Masters team, just in a different way. But picks locked in here for UFE and ROTM. And yeah, I know just talking to the boys in their Discord, they were a little bit worried about this mid lane matchup in particular. Do you feel like Death Lotus got what he wanted in the Diana and Ari matchup, or is this going to be something we really have to keep an eye on?
Yeah, so I know there was a lot of if RTM's wanting to focus mid lane, it's going to be really hard with the Ari pick because of just her elusiveness. You can kind of punish early pre-6, and I think if they're looking to punish mid, that's where they'll have to do it. But I mean, you're playing melee into range, so you should have Moki Boy should just have advantage throughout this laning phase, and then after and post 6 should be pretty hard to gank. So if RTM was looking to focus that mid lane, it's going to be really hard with the Ari pick getting through.
Yeah, seems like a tough order, but one that they'll really have to figure out the pieces of this puzzle. They have the tools to do it. They have the crowd control. They have the setup. You have Matsuro, always fond of roaming on the Thresh, so you send the Thresh and the Volibear to mid lane, you can make something happen for sure. Whether that game plan's a little too obvious and narrow, and UFE are expecting that, you have the Viego and Seraphine ready to counter gank, something like that. Could just see a lot of action around mid, or Diana and Ari both roam pretty well. We could just see them both leave mid and try to exert their influence elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, and for Unstoppable Force esports, they have a lot of RTM losing one member is really big for the Viego and Jinx. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays a factor at all, like if RTM loses a member first, or the counter shot is if Unstoppable Force loses a member first. I think these team fights are going to be very explosive to watch, assuming we get out of laning phases in even states. Both teams kind of looking to do the same thing, just run into each other, play around objectives, and fight it out to the death. So I'm literally looking forward to this game.
Yeah, should be quite a banger. We still have another minute to go. Oh, it's a long Monday. Monday casts are rough, and you go to work all day and then you come home and have to cast. Oh.
Yeah, I did go. I went bouldering this weekend, which was pretty fun. That was the first time I've done that. Went to like a gym with a friend, and my arms are killing me. I did that on Saturday, and I'm like, oh my god, I could not move my arms the way I want to.
I just have to resist the urge constantly to make the SpongeBob reference. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
The pioneers used to drive these for miles.
I'm glad we're on this. I always worry.
Yeah.
I cast with the Zoomers and I make a reference and I'm like, oh no. I don't know that one can get followed up.
I've got all the SpongeBob memes you want. So
no, SpongeBob's pretty
we'll
ubiquitous,
connect there.
luckily. Yeah.
Yes. the great bridge between the generations.
Also wanted to call out Metashift specifically. You don't have a Metashift logo in your stream package, so you don't get a Metashift logo on screen. That's the way it is.
A
I,
little sad, but
I doubt anybody from Metashift's watching, but if you are, maybe throw in a Metashift logo into your stream package, and then I can put one up.
uh,
As it is, we've got the double middle sticks logos, which looks super weird, but whatever.
well, a nice placeholder for the future.
Well, here we go. On to the riff for game number one. I still love
I think
Scrams.
this will be
Still hasn't
the
got rid of his
first game I'm
hydroponics.
on 12.7, so we'll have to see what bugs Riot introduced into the spectate client this patch. So
So far, so good, it looks like. Everybody's got items. We're all moving. Uh,
yeah, I don't have objective timers, but you do, so
I do.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Um,
You know,
bottom side stack right now for Harvest. They're going to walk out. This is a
I
really
really like this.
yeah. This is a really safe 5 point though from Unstoppable Force. Jinx should see that coming. Is Metsuro going to go? They'll trade flashes.
Uh,
You take that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's what you're looking to do in that invade is if you can trade fast for flash with support or ADC. I mean, preferably the ADC. Um, you turned your lane into a really good spot. Now, the thing that makes it a little bit weaker is that Metsuro doesn't have the Hex Flash that you see on a lot of engaged supports. Not the Thresh so much, but regardless, now your hooks landing is just that more potent. So, um, especially if they're going to try to cheese here in this third bush, I really like the aggression here from RTM, blowing that flash and then trying to put themselves in a spot where they can maybe even punish Jinx a little harder.
Yeah, and they know roughly where Bam is as Scrams has got back for his blue buff. They have knowledge in their other two quadrants, so they know that Bam is on that top side red buff, and I think it's known back. Yeah, Scrams is on top of a ward, so both junglers starting top side. It's known, and bottom lane's about to be a little bit of action as in comes Jedediah Hinkle right into
Oh
the hook.
my.
Duranga gets the full on, and they've got the ignite and the expunge for first blood.
Yeah, easy enough for RTM there. Really, really well played. Jinx just face checking that bush, walks right into a thresh hook and Twitch. And without that flash, goes down. So first blood over to the Twitch, which is great for ROTM in this early game. I want to say I'm really impressed by both teams getting early wards down so they can see where the junglers start there, and really nice. But now you've got both junglers pathing towards this bot side, and with Jinx without a flash here, um, we'll have to see if there's a
Oh,
gank angle for the Volibear.
oh,
Oh my.
another hook from Matsuro. Level 2 gets the flay back and
Oh
the
my.
contaminate. And the level 2 gank in mid finds another kill. It's 3-0 for Rodham Harvest.
So well played there across the board from RTM. Matsuro, just the hook master here, landing the two hooks here. And even after the Seraphine flashes away, it's not able to get out of flay range. So able to get another kill onto this Twitch. And like I said, if this Twitch bot lane gets ahead for RTM, it's going to be really hard for the Jinx Seraphine later in this game.
Yep, they have to be a little careful now as they're still not actually ahead in items. So I you have to be slightly more
Right.
careful at least for a Bam gank or for something really silly to happen. But Matsuro's already ahead of the play. He's headed out to go scout out the Scuttle Crab, get a little vision out, hits the scrying plant, and they see that all of those camps have been taken and that Bam is no longer in that quadrant. So now there's the question about where did Viego go? He's on the top crab, but I don't know that that's 100% known, and now in comes the gank squad looking for Boki Boy, who doesn't have a flash.
I'm just waiting patiently here to see if Ari steps up too far, and now we're going to get the gank.
Matsuro not quite able to find the hook, but in comes Scrams. Ooh, good sidesteps actually by Boki Boy. Bam is here just throwing the W out, but he's got to run away, and Scrams picks up another kill around the mid lane.
Yeah, even though Bam is here, you can't take the 2v3, so smartly backs out of that play, but Boki Boy just staying around a little too long there and gets punished for it. That was a really nice play there from Matsuro, recognizing that he has a roam timer because they pushed that wave in bot, and this wave is just going to go into Twitch, and he's going to be able to pick almost all of it up without help from his support. So really nice window. RTM putting a lot of pressure on this mid lane and punishing the Ahri pick early, pre-6, which is what you have to do into this Ahri if you want to put pressure there. So, so far, everything turning up RTM in this early game.
Yeah, Duvranga taking a little extra poke in the bottom lane, but he's up a pickaxe and boots on Jinx. So the only lane that's not feeling super far ahead is this top lane, but Saint just farming it out. You're against the Gragas. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and Volibear kind of making his way up there. They may be looking for something, but on the bot side here,
Ooh, the poison cast not quite getting enough slow, it looked like there for the hook from Matsuro. Just gonna trade a little bit of damage back, but constantly weaving in and out of the fog of war to apply pressure. Death Lotus getting a good trade on Boki Boy.
yeah, very nice there. Jumps in, gets the shield, doesn't take a lot of return damage, and she's gonna kind of slow push this lane out. This Ahri has to play so safe without the flash. And Death Lotus having a little bit of an EXP lead could maybe look for it all in when he hits level 6.
Yeah, Matsuro, ooh, not quite able to weave that one through the minions. Luckily, that would have been quite a bullshit hook, but...
Yeah. Diego here.
Oh, Viego's here. Bam coming in. He's got the weight
Ooh,
of
nice sidestep.
2,300 BAMs behind him. Getting a little damage down on Matsuro.
Oh my.
Duvranga flashes over the root, looking for the trade. He's going to take down Jedediah Hinkle with the burn, and Bam is going to fall as well. Matsuro gets the kill with his Ignite, but the gank from Bam gets turned into 2 kills.
Yeah, Duvranga there just going aggressive 2v1, flashes the only CC, and now we're going to get another kill here. Oh my goodness, this Twitch is just so fed. 4 kills already, 6 minutes into the game, almost a kill a minute before 5. You know, that's looking really good. All the gold where you want it, and this RTM team is just rolling in this early game.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you almost have to be worried about, like, getting a little too aggressive.
6.
But here's the level 6 from Death Lotus. Boki Boy hits his level 6, skills it up, and has to immediately pop the Spirit Rush to get away.
Yeah, honestly, that's I mean, kind of a heads up play from Boki Boy there, kind of focusing the wave and making sure that he got level 6. At least that's what it looked like to me, and then he's able to escape because he gets that. But yeah, there's not much to do here for Bam.
Yeah, has to flash away from Scrams, the bear. We've taken the bear pill and we're shoving it down their throat. I'm not really sure. That's a mixed metaphor.
Yeah, we ate it and regurgitated it. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's not working out. But we're gonna see an invade by Matsuro here, and Bam is just really sad. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Bam getting invaded now by the Thresh. Has to use the Heartbreaker away. He's got enough distance on that one to get out, but all of that jungle belongs to Scrams and Matsuro, and now even Death Lotus can come up. They could maybe look for a dive top. They can look for this Rift Herald on spawn. There's just multitudes of options, and our team continue to open them up. They'll get the red buff for now and be satisfied with that.
I am just loving how much Matsuro is moving around this map. Even with the Twitch being so far ahead, you know, you think like, oh, my AD carry is so far ahead, let's just keep pushing that. But he's finding windows to help his lane and then also roam around and get kills for his other lanes. So it's just expanding this gold lead, already up 4K for our team.
A lot of damage on that barrel from Wimbles, just to clear the wave immediately. I don't like that.
Yep. And we're gonna see. I can't see if Volibear is on the Herald. Looks like it.
Yep,
Did he take
he's
it? Yeah, he did. There was no announcement on the on the spectate client.
I don't think there ever is
Or
for
sound.
Rift Herald.
Isn't there? There's usually the sound though, right?
Yeah, but sometimes that doesn't happen, you know.
Anyway, I like that take. You know, your team's so far ahead. Basically just do the Herald on spawn, and now you're gonna look for a kill and pop that Herald somewhere.
Yeah, Wimbles has got the speed away. He's got the cask. Ooh, the flash from Scrams trying to get on him for the stun. He's got the damage coming down. I don't think that they can actually
Ult's
kill
available.
Wimbles, but they could just ult through. The Stormbringer's available, and now they'll turn it on. They'll pull him back with that set E, and they'll find the kill. Scrams is... Oh. A little too aggressive in the
Yeah.
top lane. Ruins the perfect game, but, you know, now that pressure's
Yeah.
gone. You don't have to worry about that.
Little sad that he didn't get the shielding off right there at the end, but um, in the end, they trade 1-for-1. Gragas can go down a little bit, but uh, importantly, he's gonna still have his tower available because Scrams is not gonna be able to drop the Rift Herald and get some extra plates on his set. So we'll see where RTM elects to use that. Maybe you get this Twitch even more gold. Uh, put him in a spot where he's just really, really far ahead, and you got to start thinking about these neutral objectives, especially when you're up this far. Dragon still yet to be taken 10 minutes into the game, so should be the next thing on the map.
Yep.
For our team.
Gonna go ahead and hand over the blue buff to Death Lotus, and not a whole lot happening on the map right now. If you're Bam, what do you have to do as the Viego to try to steer your team back into this game? Because it feels like he has to be the catalyst to unlock somebody.
Well, I mean, you have a team that scales decently well. You've got Jinx, you've got Seraphine. Enchanter's always scaling really, really well into the late game. So I would just try to avoid as many fights as possible. Get vision into your kind of set up vision lines in the river and try to get as much farm as you can, and then be there to counter gank the other jungler potentially, or just look for side lane plays. For instance, you've got dragon bot side, so maybe you go to top because you expect, oh, I'll just trade at least a kill for this dragon take that we can't contest anyway. So that's a window that you could look for.
Duvranga's just hiding behind the minion wave. They're trying to find a cheeky little angle, but he's going to walk over the vision ward now. But Jedediah Hinkle really has nowhere to go. He's got his flash available, trying to get out, but the rat-a-tat over the top. And now the Stormbringer to turn off the turret. Duvranga has to be a little careful, though, getting charmed up. That's a huge Seraphine ult to try to turn this one, but there's just not the damage to come through and finish off Matsuro or Duvranga underneath the tower.
Yeah, and with Duvranga just so far ahead, it's really, really big for him to just be able to go invisible and just step up there. It's so scary if you're this Jinx or Seraphine to be able to step up. What I really like from Matsuro is that he didn't step up with the Twitch, let him initiate, because then you're thinking, oh, this Twitch is definitely here if you're that Jinx or Seraphine. But to just be standing in lane and a Twitch is all of a sudden on top of you is one of the great strengths of him.
Yeah, now calling in Death Lotus. Big Moonfall for the
my.
damage. They find Jedediah Hinkle again. Busty has nowhere to go, and Scrams takes him down. They're diving through 2 towers here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the pressure is just on and on and on for RTM, just finding play after play, and another hook lands.
Another hook lands. Can he pull in any help? Matt's just trying to fight his way out. Duvranga getting the autos down, but Boy able to get away. That's so much damage.
Poison?
Oh
my. He finds it. I think there's a couple minion autos that also followed to help out, but man,
that third auto though,
just a little bit. Yeah.
That third auto, it's PTA plus the Bork proc, plus the contaminate at the end. Like, what do you do about that?
Yeah, there's not much you can do, especially with the Twitch that's already on his Bork. I mean, it's just so much damage.
Saint has to use his showstopper just to try to escape. Wimbles is really giving it to him in these trades, not so much in the CS column. Oh, that's a great combo, though.
Very good
Trying
barrel.
to get the cask. Yeah, gonna get the flash out of little Saint.
Yeah, I think actually Gragas probably gets the kill there if he body slams just a little bit earlier off the cask, but maybe just didn't have it or didn't react fast enough for it. But has been doing pretty solid into this set, honestly. It has kind of become that farm lane top that we were expecting with the Gragas, but Matsuro gonna cancel his back just to be annoying.
Oh, is he gonna go for 2? Okay, he's gonna find Viego. No, he's
Stop it again. I love it. It's so good because Gragas is out of mana and really needs to back here. Saint went ahead and TP'd back, so it this Gragas is gonna not be here to defend the tower, and it's just gonna be Viego, which I think if Saint had the showstopper, they could probably look to dive, but not going to be able to do that here.
Yeah, they're going to get the teleport out of Wimbles, which is almost as valuable. Now can't use that to exert some influence on the map. That's the one lane that's going okay for Unstoppable Force, and now can't even get the Gragas unlocked to get out of that lane. Metzero in the jungle finds another hook onto Bam. He uses the Heartbreaker over the wall. There's no real way to follow for ROTM, but continuing just to get these cooldowns for very little. It's the hook in the box expended for Metzero. You wish he hadn't used the box, but like, whatever. Ult for ult, you take that.
Yeah, I love how much RTM is just sitting in this jungle. They're saying, it is ours. You are not going to get any free farm. We are going to take it all. And it's just growing their gold lead. I mean, they're up 8K at 15 minutes. This has just been a phenomenal performance from the RTM squad.
Yep, Scram's even grabbing the second Rift Herald on spawn. We have a dragon in the pocket finally that got taken about 2 minutes ago. So um, no cloud, no ocean this game, which means that soul's going to be pretty valuable if the game lasts that long.
Yeah, things have slowed down here just a little bit. They're looking for potential kill onto Death Lotus in the bot lane.
Yeah, they get the little slow onto him. Oh, bam. That's a little unlucky. I think he wanted the little speed buff onto the extra embankment. But Wimble's getting collapsed on in the top lane. They're going to turn off the tower with the Stormbringer. The Ignite plus the PTA tearing through. The E isn't quite going to be enough as he's got the Zoom away with the Phase Rush. And he'll get out. His tower probably not going to be so lucky, though, as they drop Sheila up there. They'll even give the solo tower gold to Lil Saint to try to buoy him just a little bit so he can fight back in this lane.
Yeah, I do really like how RTM saw the Viego play go bot side, saw 3 members, and was like, will immediately punish on this top side. Wimbles plays it pretty well to be able to get out of that. Used his phase rush really, really well. And now, in the end, it's going to be a tower instead of a kill in a tower for RTM. So did a good job neutralizing that there. And Wimbles has played pretty well this game.
Yeah, kind of the standout performer. Maybe unfortunately, if you're UFE, that's not maybe the ideal person to have be your standout performer in this game, given the champion he's on. But
Yeah.
Jinx Rocket used just to be very annoying, put a little bit of pressure down onto Death Lotus. He's got his teleport. If it's not up, it's up very soon. I can't quite see if there's a bar there or not. I think it's gone now, so he'll have his teleport up, can move around the map a little bit, but 1 minute to go on this dragon, and Harvest should set up around that one.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think you can really contest here if you're UFE. You kind of just got to give this, try to get maybe that top tower objective bounty, something like that. That is the one thing that they can start going for is the objective bounties, and try to go to a side lane, get these with your Jinx. But
Ooh,
you see a
charm there
play
from
on the mid.
Boy. He's got the moves with
Ooh.
so much damage from Duvranga. It's gonna burn him
It's gonna
down,
die.
it looks like. Oh, Busty maybe in a little bit of trouble now as well. He's got the Encore. Does he have the speed to actually get away? He cannot escape the bear and the... I was gonna make a joke. The bear and the manifestation of a Freljordian god, maybe. I don't know. Hook gonna land onto Bam. They're
Oh
gonna pull him
my.
in. The rocket isn't gonna be able to tag Duvranga either, and it's 14-1 in kills for ROTM. They get 2 more, and they'll be able to get this dragon for free.
Yeah, there's just not enough damage to be able to kill this Twitch even at kind of low health there. But it should just be a free Drake. And I really like how RTM was trying to force a play right before the dragon spawn, try to get a kill, get an advantage for their team before the objective is up. And Duvranga is just going to kind of look for Jinx again.
I don't know that Jedediah has had a flash at any point during this game.
It seems like every time it is up, it is immediately expended, so...
Oh, what a hook by Metzero. All right, Busty, I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, that's feeling bad.
I don't really know what to say anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. It's just RTM, push lanes, get vision, get objectives, win game, you know?
How do you recover from a game like this? You have to go into game number 2 now. I mean, unless something really remarkable happens, which it kind of is. Scrams is going to fall. They get one reset. Death Lotus is a little bit low. Zap not quite going to land on a Matsuro. Dive forward with a Heartbreaker. Gets the slow. Can they track down Matsuro here at the end? He'll get a speed boost up in a couple seconds. Going to throw the hook in. This might be a little dangerous now for Bam as he gets ignited late into just a little bit. But they do pick off Scrams for the second time this game. That's not insignificant.
No, definitely a very nice pickup. And I think also with Viego on your team, if you're actually able to kill one of the RTM members because they're so far ahead, Viego is going to get their items. So he becomes immediately stronger and uses your gold lead against you, kind of smacks you with your own wallet. Uh, but I think the gold lead is pretty hard to get an initial kill, but you've got some pick tools with the Ari, with the Gragas barrel, but I think for the most part, you're just wanting to get as much farm as you can and try to get these objective bounties, and maybe just look for like a Baron steal or something. That's about the best you can do is just keep looking for plays, because playing risky is about the only way that you're going to make it back into this game.
Yeah, they've even opted for 3 sweepers just to try to combat some of the ridiculous amount of vision that our team have had in this game. Duvranga is scouting ahead, pretending to be a ward on his own. Spots a couple of members of UFE, forces them to back away, and Scrams and Matsuro threatening from the side. Hook not quite gonna land, but that's, I think, the first one that Matsuro's missed the entire game, so we'll give him that one at 21 minutes.
Yeah, and this Baron is up. So they're just going to go ahead and start it. And I don't really mind that they're doing that. I mean, they're so far ahead in this game that all they want really is just a team fight. RTM really doesn't care about getting this Baron. They'll take it if it's uncontested, but what they should be looking for is the fight.
Yep, Wimbles walks in over the ward. They've got Busty with him. Ooh, that Gragas barrel was actually very close to being able to secure it, but a good smite from Scrams does secure the Baron for ROTM. A little scarier than it should have been, but
yeah. I mean, what's nice is Viego wasn't in the
oh
area,
well.
Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.
And goodbye.
So when there's a Twitch that's that far, what was that hook? I think maybe not what Matsuro wanted there. Uses his stopwatch just to buy the time. They finish the tower, and he'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good stopwatch. I mean, you can play that aggressive with it in your back pocket for sure.
Yeah. Scram's the only one that's gonna die today. In this
game. That is
game.
how it's looking.
Yeah. But they'll roll in through the inhib. They have the Baron buff minions. Do they want more? How greedy is RTM going to be? This is a little bit more respectful headed toward that bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Diana already pushing on this wave. You might as well just pick up 2 inhibs. They could probably just look for the end, but this is the safe thing. And
yeah, well,
man.
You might get the end anyway. Find 2 extra kills. Scrams jumping through. In comes Saint into the backline with a showstopper. Finishes off one with the auto, and he's able to survive with the lock at the hook from Matsuro. Finds Busty for the umpteenth time this game. Duvranga flashing forward. Oh no, Scrams! Oh no, Duvranga died. All right, well, it's pretty much over. That's an FF for ROTM as Duvranga died. They couldn't protect the Twitch.
Yeah, Matsuro really played this game well. I loved how much he roamed, how many hooks he was able to land on this thresh pick, and just really showed how he's able to do it. But this is gonna be maybe a little scary.
Nah, they're fine. All right. They had more than enough health, but
yeah. You always get worried when Jinx gonna reset, but maybe not a 1 in 6 Jinx at 23 minutes.
Well, 22-5. 3 of those kills were on the doorstep of the Nexus, though. So, yeah. What can you take from this game if you're UFE? What are you looking at for game number 2?
I mean, I think you got to start banning away things that performed really well. Things like that Thresh, things like the Twitch. Those are obviously things that they were very comfortable playing, because I don't feel like the draft straight up was their problem. It was just an execution, and RTM performed super well in those champs. So just take it away, see if you can reset, and put them on something else that they're maybe not as comfortable on.
It was just an execution. That'll sum it up from Lipa Lane.
I mean, what can you say at that with that gold lead, you know?
Well, we'll be right back with game number 2. Also, shout out to Lane, to Marionette, and to Hulk for the subscriptions. Really appreciate the continued support. My wife at 14 months, y'all slacking. Not to spectate, you know, unwantedly. They have their coach is called the Unstoppable Coach in their call, which is very funny. And it's just his profile picture is just a picture of him shirtless smoking. So real energy there from their coach.
Wow, that is unstoppable. Very intimidating. That guy joined your voice chat.
I think I had perms all along, Lane.
Oh, well,
Oh, maybe I don't.
you know.
Because the only button I have is follow. I don't want to follow. And I can't get rid of the follow button either, which is annoying.
Huh. In the Metashift Discord?
Yeah.
Well, I told him to give it to you, but we'll see if what they do.
You're not tagged as Rodham. I'm tagged as team manager. I don't know. What are you tagged as? Host.
I am tagged as host.
I'll ask.
Yeah. I pinged. That'll be nice going forward.
I'll just post. Apparently with scripts, Corky can kill himself with his own passive. So that's interesting.
Wait, who can?
Corky.
He kills himself with his own passive. Huh. Trying to think how that works.
Yeah, I don't. It's apparently you have to have scripts to do it, but I don't know why you
Gotcha.
want to have the scripts to kill yourself.
Well, we're actually in the draft for game 2.
Oh, I didn't even notice the link. Oh my goodness. All right.
You haven't missed much. Just the first 2 beds. So Victor, a ban for Harvest, and Katarina gonna be a ban for Unstoppable Force.
All right. They're the same sides? Okay, cool. Chill. I have it. Oh, I don't have it up on screen yet. Now it's up on screen. Okay.
We're all squared away.
Alright, we are live. We have it on the stream. Yeah, Katarina Nocturne, this is the same bands as last game.
Yep.
Are
We'll have to
UFE
see if
gonna change anything up?
they banned Kled last time, so we'll have to see what they go for here. I would really like to see them ban Twitch or Thresh, something they had an issue with in game one.
I feel like it's the Thresh, but they think
Yeah.
it's the Twitch, so.
I mean, I don't mind that. I mean, if you're Jinx, you probably have nightmares tonight of Twitch popping out of stealth and just killing or getting your flash on repeat. So, regardless, I think good to take away a chance that they performed well on last game. That is going to be the Kled over for Harvest.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I feel like you can do the same thing as Twitch on a different champion. Like, maybe not to the same extent, but you can have the same lane pressure with a different champion. But I don't feel like Thresh is replicable as much on another champion. Maybe Blitzcrank says hello, but anyway, they're going to let the club through, and then they're going to immediately counter with the Jax.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good counter matchup, and they're not giving anything away. Harvest going ahead and picking the Kled here means that, you know, you're not going to have to... You're going to have to blind into a counter probably, so I'll have to see what else they go for. They opt into the Caitlyn. So staying away from the Jinx from last game. Didn't want to go back to it again with Twitch off the table, so...
Yeah, this does theoretically pinch Duranga's pool a little bit. He's... I would say his strongest champions are the Twitch and the Caitlyn, but can definitely play others. We'll see where he wants to go this game. I always feel weird talking about the live draft because I don't want to like give away things that I know about, but at the same time I want to look like I'm more knowledgeable. But they're going to go back to the Diana, which is, again, a flex pick between Scrams and Death Lotus. We saw Death Lotus do well on it last game. Got put ahead early thanks to some nice pathing from Scrams, and then really capitalized. Had a really big moonfall in the bottom lane. Big 3-man moonfall on that turret dive. So it seemed like a comfortable pick.
Yeah, and on blue side, always really, really nice to pick up a flex pick in that first 3, just to be able to get a potential counter matchup somewhere for yourself, especially since a lot of the time you are the ones that are getting counter picked. But Jinx going to be picked up, and we'll have to see how Durango does on it. Expect to do fine based on last game, but I always like seeing someone put on a new champ when they just come off of a huge win. So we're gonna see Morgana paired with Caitlyn, not surprising, and it also kind of counters Thresh. You know, maybe you don't have to ban the Thresh here now that you've got Morgana on your side. So I really like this pickup if they're thinking along those lines. And Volleyware are going to be banned away, which I think is a very good ban. I think Volleybare probably one of the best junglers on the patch.
Yeah, I also like the Ahri adaptation from ROTM. While it wasn't explicitly a problem last game, there was definitely avenues where it could have been difficult for them to track that champion down. Just cut down on the mobility, give another, get rid of another option for Boy.
Yeah, and I think with all the emphasis RTM was putting on mid lane last game, I mean, they found a couple kills pre-6, but post-6 was going to be a lot harder to find those kills. I think the fact that they got pretty far ahead was very nice for them, but especially if they're wanting to focus this mid lane, getting rid of that Ahri makes a lot of sense, just to get rid of some of that safety and potential anti-gank.
Yeah, and UFE going to ban the Galio. That's a pretty smart ban, actually. That's a flex pick between Death Lotus and Matsuro that could have, potentially even confounded the draft a little bit more. And the Corki going to be taking away another just generic mid laner with a dash. We'll see what Boy has left. If you're thinking really generic mid laners, it's Orianna at this point. Is that where we're to on the tier list?
Syndra. Yeah. I mean, Ryze. I would be surprised to see Ryze here, but we'll see Lee Sin.
All right.
We are Lee Sin Gaming.
You don't normally see gold-ish league players pull out the Lee Sin. sometimes you get treated to something special. Like you can tell
Yeah.
that some of the players like have the mechanics, but maybe not the decision making, or they have the decision making but not the mechanics. And, like sometimes you get some really special, like actually special, like very good plays, and then other times it's very funny to watch. But yeah, the Amumu is much more straightforward, reliable champion. And that means that the Diana almost assuredly going mid. You could go bottom Amumu, but I don't think Metzero plays that.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
The
Everything should be
Garithar
pretty
special.
clear here, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see Thresh again. It is Thresh into Morgana, so definitely takes away some of the potential of this pick.
Oh,
Ooh, I like this. Actually, hovering the Thresh and then switching the Karma. Karma kind of a Morgana counter. You can get rid of the Black Shield very, very quickly with Karma Qs. And so and also gives Jinx some protection, which is really, really nice. So like that pickup there. I wouldn't have loved the Thresh as much, so a good draft adaptation from RTM.
yeah. And UFE, looking at their last pick now, probably a mid laner. Oriana. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, kind of be expected. I mean, you've got some good ball delivery mechanisms with the Lee Sin, with the Jax, able to jump in there. I think the biggest thing here is this top lane is going to be pretty volatile. Gonna want to spend some time up there. I think for Unstoppable Force, you're gonna want to try to get this Jax ahead. He's got the counter matchup, and if he gets strong in the side lane, there's not gonna be much that's gonna be able to stop him. So, especially with an early game jungler like the Lee Sin, would really like to see him start bot and path up towards this top lane, trying to get an early gank off onto the Clud.
well, we'll wait for just a second before they load up to our second draft. I'm trying to find my watch charger, which is a phrase that young me wouldn't have understood.
10 years ago.
Well, we're still waiting. Thanks again for joining us. If you don't follow the channel, please do hit the follow button. It does help us out immensely. And, you know, if you enjoyed the cast, if you want to support us, just come back around. You don't have to do anything special. Just show up to the streams, say hi in the chat. That's all it really takes to help out the amateur esports scene. Makes us feel a little bit more loved. Oh, we're into second draft.
Yeah, we're gonna see the recycling of the bands here.
Yeah, so 1-0 up for Harvest.
And a very dominant performance at that. The mental damage of a 1-0 like that is sometimes hard to come back for teams. So I hope Unstoppable Force is able to put together a little bit better showing for the second game here. But I like what they did in the draft. Did some draft adaptations, got RTM off the Twitch pick, which looked phenomenal in the last game. Make them show you something different.
Yeah. I guess the big thing, it feels like, is going to be this Lee Sin pick getting started early for him, especially considering how well Amumu scales. Do you feel like he needs to really find some ganks early on? Where would you look to put that pressure if you're BAM?
Yeah, I know what I said before. Definitely want to start bot side and try to get this counter pick of the Jax ahead. Because if he's getting ahead in the side lane, it's going to be really hard to stop him, especially on the Kled. So I think you have to get some things done on this Lee Sin in the early game because, again, RTM's drafted themselves a really good team fighting comp, and so if they're not behind, I think they just outscale in the game.
think it's interesting Metzro taking, all of the time to lock in the Karma champion that he's already locked in once. Um, and, you know,
Gotta do the runes.
Busty on the other side just immediately locks in the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn, not the Morgana, for the record.
Yep.
That's
Are
the big
they-
adaptation, it looks like, is they're going to swap their AD and support.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure. That's very interesting to flip that. But I think they've drafted themselves a really strong lane. Morgana Caitlyn, you land a Morgana bind and it's just doomed for whoever you hit. And should have a lot of lane pressure, outrange the Jinx quite a bit, able to push in that bot lane. I think one thing Lee Sin will need to do as this game progresses, especially in this early levels, is be around this bot side to counter gank, because they should be shoving in all the time, which makes it an ideal target for a Mumu. But I think they win the 3v3 if he's there to counter gank. So kind of gotta watch with a lane that's shoving in constantly, and a hard CC jungler like the Amumu. Gotta always be careful. But Morgana does have the black shield to kind of defend against this Amumu, and I would not at all be surprised here if RTM decides to do another invade. They've got a really strong level 1 with the Amumu taking double Q. Being able to blow someone's flash might be another asset to them, like we saw in the last game.
Yeah, you have more experience with its top lane matchup than I do, for sure. I don't really play either of these champions. Is this a really volatile top lane matchup?
It is. It should be very heavily Jack's favored. Kled is all about playing around his cooldowns, and so if his W is down, or if Jax is able to use his counter strike to make sure none of the fast autos of the W come out for Kled, it's gonna be really hard for Kled to do anything in this lane. Especially if Kled gets dismounted, which is pretty easy to do with Jax, especially once you get to that level 6 and you're able to get, if you can like time your passive chunk auto to like just QW on top. You basically never want to spend any time dismounted in this lane if you're Kled. It's just too easy to kill because you cannot remount in this lane. Assuming the Jax plays it well.
So, theoretically, should be advantage bottom, advantage top lane. Is that then on Scrams in Death Lotus to make something happen around mid for Diana, try to get her ahead again? Or are they comfortable just scaling up?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you want to try to do something in this mid lane, because it's kind of the one lane that you can. Because I don't think you win 2v2 or 3v3 in bot or top. So just look to try to, if you come out of this early game even, or even just slightly behind, I think it's really good for RTM's comp, because they just outscale in draft phase. But again, this Jax is going to be, I think, the premier carry for Unstoppable Force Esports in the lane they want to play behind.
Well, you've heard the man. Let's see what happens. Can UFE turn it around in this game, or are we headed for another quick 2-0 night for Harvest? I need the dramatic zoom in, the crowd cheering. Ah.
I have loved. It's crazy how much I've missed the crowd noise for LCS. Like, just having the playoffs with people reacting to the big kills just makes it so much more hype. I've really missed that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear Houston. The one weird thing, I don't want to get on my soapbox too much. I think it's super weird that they partnered with Tyler One. Like, the hype video is actually pretty hype, but like,
Yeah,
I don't understand why they continued to push him the way that they do. But
he's just huge streamer. big for the community, I guess. I think it's. I
Yeah,
also think it's a little bit weird based on just like uh, I don't know
it's
how he
just
is as a player and stuff. But
yeah. Anyway, the three-man squad from ROTM just gonna get some vision down. They know that they're stronger level one, so they can walk on in. Yeah, especially with double bandage toss at level one. If they find anybody,
yeah,
he knows that there's a ward here, so this is not the freest recall of Scram's life, but he's just hanging out.
yep. I do really like both teams honestly getting uh, some decent vision down. I think you could have potentially looked for the Lee Sin, Caitlyn, Morgana to just get a ward on the red buff for scrims, but again, we're going to see Lee Sin start bot, which I really like. Again, want to path towards that top side play for this Jax and try to get him as ahead as you can in the early game.
I always think it's fun
It's gonna be,
watching all these
yeah.
games. I just don't realize some of the skins that are in the game. That Conqueror Jack skin, I don't think I've ever like actually seen in game. That Prestige
Uh-huh.
edition. What a treat, you know.
Yeah, you get to see who has the fattest wallet or the best parents, I guess.
Yeah.
Get a lot of different skins.
The other bad one is Bam has the base Nightbringer skin on Lee Sin, and his
Mhm.
neck is not okay in that skin. I might zoom in on it at some point, but boy is he not a healthy man with that. Trades up in the
Yeah,
top lane. Saints almost dismounted right now, and Wimble
yeah.
started Counter-Strike just so that he can get in a little bit of that trade damage.
He does hit this level 2 um, before the Jax, but it is a little scary here. That he should know that Lee Sin is pathing top, uh, and you do not want to be pushing into this Jax. I think the Saints just misplaying a little bit here, since they know that he started bot side, because you want to get pushed in.
Ooh,
You're
the
the
level 3 from Death Lotus. I don't know that he got the reset on his E. I don't know how tight that timing is. It might not be that tight. I've seen it
Mhm.
reset kind of ridiculously, but Boy with the respect flash anyway, and Little Saint has to zip away, gets hit by the resonating strike, might get dismounted. No, actually, just a little tug in, gonna be enough to save him.
No, Org's not in a great spot here.
Yeah, Jedediah gonna take the mantra inner fire to the back.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that
Oh,
both bot
Bam
and
is
top.
right back, using that same ward to come back in.
Yeah,
Hits the resonating strike. They're going to dismount Saint, plus get his flash off of that gank. So now Saint has to be very respectful.
yeah. Honestly, as sad and as hard as it is, you either need to call a Mumu to this lane, which with Lee Sin around is pretty scary because this 2v2. Or you need to just reset and take your loss of getting a wave frozen on you top because it is super scary. There's not really an angle for a remount with the Kled as long as Counter Strike is up.
Ooh, the Comet was actually enough to remove the Black Shield. That's kind of interesting. Um, it was the full mantra Q, uh, and then the Comet was actually what undid the Black Shield. The extra explosion from the mantra wouldn't have would have done full damage. But
Yeah,
it's
Saint's
always
got
interesting. Sorry.
his wave in. I'd like to see him reset here because here we go. Well, he got his remount, so we're actually okay. But
Yeah, he's just continuing to play aggressively. Now Scram's looking for the gank in mid lane, turns on the tears. Oh, not quite able to find the max range bandage toss. Got another one in the tank if he wants, but should know that Bam is in the area. Bam, only about 300 health. This is a little scary for him to come in. Do they have the AoE
yeah,
damage? They don't have much else, but they'll chase Boy and Bam out.
yeah, I don't mind Scrams trying to look for that play because he knows Oriana's no flash, but just doesn't quite hit it.
That's super annoying
Yep.
as Kled to deal with.
Yeah, but it's not like he lost really anything in that trade.
Yeah.
Like Jax is getting pushed out here, so honestly, Saint playing the matchup pretty well, is able to get these waves in and get himself a little bit of a CS advantage, which is not usually what you see in this type of matchup. But that Jax is going to continue to get scale, and once he hits 6, becomes a lot more of a threat. So
Ooh. Definitely didn't hit that E, so that'll go on like a 20-second cooldown early on. Might be more than that even. It's no joke on that cooldown.
You missed a big stomp in game one, Crimson Blade. It was very heavy RTM favored, but so far you have not missed much in this game. It's been very even. Not a whole lot of action so far.
Yeah, they're just kind of chilling for now, farming it out. Well, Wimble's gonna get aggressive. Saint has to
Spooky.
be very
He missed
careful.
his
Yeah,
W.
missed the W, but now trying to pull back. He's got the ult, but now dismounted. Saint getting the autos through. Has those big strikes. He gets the ult back up, diving onto Wimbles for first blood. What a play by Lil Saint.
Yeah, I mean Jax just didn't have his counter strike for when Kled dismounts. If you literally just save that if he's around his dismount timing, but Saint punishes him for it for not having it up and is able to find a kill around his level 6. So really, really well played there. Able to get a very nice dismount or remount and gets the first kill, solo kill of the game.
Yeah, that was a really neat little interaction.
I
Matsuro,
love this.
baited like he was going to go ward, was instead standing in the bush, just hits Busty with the Mantra Q and going to get the heal out for his trouble.
Yeah, the amount of times I have kind of been the Caitlyn in that situation where you just are like, oh, support's not here. They must be roaming. There's no way they're near me. And you just stand in the bush somewhere hoping that they get a little bit closer to you and finds a nice chunk of damage there.
Yeah, and look at this little invade. Scrams and Death Lotus going to go ahead and steal away the blue buff, hand that one over to the Diana, and now can put pressure maybe on this bottom lane with the Moonfall available for Death Lotus, or just look for a free dragon because Lee Sin's on the top side. This is smart though by Bam. He's either got, well, he's only got one option now. It's the top lane gank. The Herald isn't up yet at 7.5 minutes. The Scrams and Death Lotus and Duvranga going to go ahead and take care of that dragon. And look at Saint, already backed off. Bam, not going to be able to find too much unless he gets a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, and Saint doing a good job of using his E. Wimbles has got to also think about that. You don't really want to use your Q until the E is down, unless you're just looking for a really quick trade with your Q and empowered auto with the W.
Ooh.
Oh, and the
Binding gonna land onto Matsuro. That's a lot of damage coming through. Matsuro's going to take the headshot, and Busty gets, I think, his first kill of the series. So 1-1 in UFE, hanging in there relatively even now. Only about 400 gold, which is pretty significant given the way that we saw Game 1 snowball out of control by this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the binding and the Caitlyn combo there for you. Basically, if that lands on either of these bot laners, they're really just dead. So there's always that aspect for you to get some kills if you're UFE. So nice find for this bot lane that was really outclassed in game one.
Saint's doing such a good job in this lane. He gets the Grandmaster at arms out, the ultimate that for some reason I know the name of for Jax. And that means that now he's got a relatively free lane. Has to be careful though because his friends are getting collapsed on, or are they doing the collapsing? Scrams looking for the Curse of the Sad Mummy, the jump away from Wimbles. They'll get the pull in with the shockwave, but it just doesn't matter. They're turning the damage back onto Bam. He'll burn down to the red buff, and it's a double kill for Scrams on the Amumu. Death Lotus slinks away with about 100 health.
Yeah, Lee Sin, the early game jungler, does not look like it in this game. Scram's finding a lot more presence around the map, able to pick up objectives, able to get ganks off, and I mean, just look at the farm disparity as well. So far, just Scram's outclassing the Lee Sin quite a bit here.
Matsuro just hanging out by himself in mid lane. Yeah, I'll take some range minions. Sure, thanks.
Yep, and yeah, I mean, the one pain point for RTM has been a little bit of the bot lane in this game too, but I mean, it's Jinx karma. It's gonna scale, and it's gonna do what you need it to in the late game as long as it doesn't get too far behind. So, Saint turning this counter matchup on its head. We might look for a Mumu to kind of get more gold onto this Kled or maybe help out his bot lane a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where he decides to drop this Herald.
Yeah, good little sidestep there from Duvranga not to get hit by the Dark Binding. I don't think it really matters in that situation, but you never want to get hit by that. Because then it's tax day, so you could celebrate by finishing off your taxes, you know?
Oh yeah, and there's kind of just starting to see Wimbles take some good trades for himself. Definitely just want to kind of poke out with that empowered W and get him off. Oh,
Oh, using
again.
the ult just for trying to disengage. Now going aggressive, trying to get his mount back, but Bam is here. Hits the resonating strike into the tower. I don't think that he really
Ooh.
wanted to go that far, but trades flash. Well, I guess he doesn't trade the flash. Just going to get the flash out of Little Saint. So a little too aggressive there from the Kled.
Yeah, I actually think Saint might have had a chance for a remount there. He was able to get an extra auto on the Lee Sin after he flashed in, but regardless, does well for himself. Able to get out of that gank, and I think Wimbles just doesn't understand how to play the matchup here. Again, uses the counter strike too early onto the Kled. Really want to save it for when you dismount the Kled, um, so that he has no chance of remounting, because auto attacks are a big part of him able to get that remount.
Yep, Scrams gets spotted out on the ward, which is known because Jedediah throws the Dark Binding at him. Death Lotus just hanging in darkness right now. I don't know that they know that Diana is here. They definitely know the Amumu is. As he drops the Rift Herald over the wall, they'll clear out the vision in the Tri-Bush, and now in comes
This is scary.
Shelly, in comes the dive potentially from ROTM.
Oh.
They hit the Crescent Strike, but Jedediah just separated a little bit. They use the Curse of the Sad Mummy, immediately pick off one. Scrams finds the bandage toss onto Busty, looking for that last little bit of damage. Jinx Rocket sails just a little bit wide, but they get the Q. They'll get the reset. It's a double kill for Death Lotus. Bam, not going to be able to do a whole lot to help out his team. Just has to dash away. Our team gets 2 kills, plus a bunch of tower plates onto the Jinx.
Yeah, they're actually, I think, going to get this full tower onto Jinx, so really, really nice. But the only thing there is Death Lotus just swag ulting before the play even starts. I think maybe a little bit of a misclick, but in the end is able to still make the play, gets 2 kills for himself, so not mattering in the end, but a little bit of a misplay from Death Lotus.
Yep, Dragon going to spawn now, and that'll be ROTM's last last game we saw Cloud, then Ocean into the Mountain Soul. This one we have Ocean, then Cloud. What flavor of Soul are we going to get?
Hoping for a Hex Tech, that'd be fun.
You get Mountain, and you'll like it.
Not bad either way. I mean, when you see that air Drake in the first 2, I really like to see that, especially if you're the team ahead. Because any Drake that you get after that is going to be better than the air. So very nice pickup for them.
Yeah, so 5-1 early on. Well, compared to last game, I guess it's not that early on, but 4,000 gold lead at 13.5 minutes is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and this Jax is just not able to do anything in this matchup against the Kled. A matchup that he picked himself as the counter. So Saint performing really, really well on the Kled so far. Able to get tower plates for himself, able to get CS lead and a kill lead as well.
I don't want to specifically call him out, but I'm known to do this every once in a while. You look at the matchup table in OPGG, and you're like, oh yeah, Jax, that's a good matchup into Kled. I can play Jax. And then you don't understand why it's a good matchup. Might be what's happening. Don't want to call him out specifically, but they're going to find the kill. He got the kill, and he's right back in it. So maybe me low-key flaming him, gonna empower him to carry the game. I'm rooting for Wimbles. Jedediah not doing super well.
Goodbye.
Loses the 1v1 to Dubranga.
Yeah, just walk up to the melee range of the red buff Jinx that's 2 levels ahead of you with no backup.
Ooh, Bam?
Don't think that's the play for you.
Bam?
Goodbye.
Why did he go back in?
Really wanted the chicken.
Fair. Chicken's pretty good.
Yeah. UFE was able to make a good play for themselves in this top lane, but then just find themselves making 2 bad plays to neutralize that. So
if they nerfed the skill shots, I don't know if Rodham got the extra 50 unit buff on all of their skill shots. Maybe that came through for him. It feels like these hooks, these bandage tosses in this series have just been right at the edge of that range.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, looking at the CS discrepancy in the jungle, it's just crazy. A 60 farm in the jungle this early in the game is quite a lot. But yeah, I think Jax, as long as he's able to get his free farm, can scale really well into this late game, can be a pressure point for them. Um, but it's going to be hard to find it with ROTM just invading and getting as much gold as they can away from the Lee Sin.
Yeah, able to take their own red buff. They have to consider that a win at this point. Now objective bounties on almost to max value as well. So uh, any objective, any kill, they'll get themselves a little extra gold pretty much at this point. Oh, not quite able to find Jedediah with the inner flame. Just gonna tether him up, hit him with another Q. There's a lot of damage coming out of Matsuro. He's built no damage items, and he's still chunking.
Yeah, that is karma support for you. That pick is so fun to play. You feel like a mage, especially with Ignite. You really can 1v1 people pretty easily. So, um, it's gonna be really nice, and I'm interested to see what Matsuro decides to build. If he decides to go for the Shirelias or the Moonstone. I think either are pretty decent here, especially since you've got a team that wants to kind of run in and team fight. Could get some use out of the active on Shirelias, but Moonstone also really solid option. Able to heal up your teammates a little bit and do some extra healing and shielding.
In this game, two current support former top laners talk about support in top lane.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten a lot of auto cam towards top lane, to be fair. So
I don't feel like I ever cast with mid laners. I got rid of winged, and now they just don't come around.
doomed. Yeah. Well, you had Vaughn. He's the mid sup.
I guess so. Yeah.
But
Too many
yeah, we're gonna
supports
see.
talking on this channel.
We're gonna see this third Drake pop up here. Should be RTMs. They're set up well for it. Would like to see them push out that mid lane one more, but they've got the mid lane tower down, and that gives them a lot of pressure on this. Also, really good warding here. I really like how they're positioning just to kind of catch people out.
Oh, big Curse of the Sad Mommy. Gonna find two. In with the
Oh
Moonfall.
my.
That's huge from Death Lotus. It's a double kill immediately. They get the pull back in onto Busty as well. Saint flanking from the side. Boki Boy gets hit by the Zap, and that's 4 kills for ROTM. Just disgusting combo.
Yeah, just perfect objective setup there. They had all the vision marked out, and then you've got the huge teamfight ultimates able to come through there. Death Lotus landing a huge 3-man ult, and it's just gonna solo this dragon while the rest of the team pushes here.
Yeah, needed scrams for the Rift Herald, otherwise he'd probably be back there. Wimble's going to jump in, try to do anything he can. They take down Sheila, but I just don't think it matters. Bam heals a lot with that Gore Drinker, but it just doesn't matter. Jedediah goes into stasis. Duvranga flashing forward, looking for Wimbles. Gets the counter strike. Do they have the damage? They don't quite. Matsuro able to save him and block the ace in the hole on the way out. Jedediah getting jumped on. Saint looking for more. Gets the dismount and the pocket pistol kill for the Kled. He's got those little Karma shield for the speed boost. He can't get away from Busty, though. The Caitlyn picks up his second kill of the game. Now walking a little too far forward, Matsuro senses his moment. Scrams, flashes over the wall, and now they've called in Death Lotus. The rocket from downtown to seal the deal. Duvranga on the killing spree, and the inhibitor soon to follow.
Yeah, ROTM there, just calling all the troops into battle there. Able to get basically 2 back-to-back team wipes and the inhibitor. Really nice take there. They take it about 19 minutes, and now with the Baron spawning in 30 seconds, you're going to want to use this mid lane pressure as fast as possible so that UFE doesn't just get the free farm in their base.
Scream's even being a little greedy on the way out. Gonna go ahead and take a blue buff for himself, and you know, why not?
Yeah.
So now RTM with the 10,000 gold lead with the mid lane inhibitor down. 20 minutes about to tick on the clock for that Baron spawn. Where do you want to see him go?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to just see them set up around this Baron and basically do exactly what they did with the Dragon setup. You just set up vision, and then someone has to be consistently pushing out this mid lane because it's pretty early in the game, right at the 20-minute mark, basically, that you've got an inhibitor down, and so it's still pretty hard to clear minions at this point. So basically, you're gonna have a 4v5 whenever you want it.
Saint not quite able to find that bear trap on a rope. Thank you, Riot, for putting that ability in the game, by the way.
Such a funny ability, Link. It's almost as good as Eep.
Watch out, Eep. Yeah.
Yes, watch out, Eep.
In comes the charge! They're diving underneath the tower. Wimbles is going to be the first target. Metsuro and Duvranga looking for the damage. They're just trying to use it to zone off the tower, it looks like. Saint's going to walk in for the demolish proc. That might cost him his life, though. Wimbles able to jump out. Cled's dismounted. And now they've called in Scrams. And I don't know if Death Lotus was trying to solo the Baron during all of that. They'll get the flash out of Jedediah. The rocket comes through. Just singes their back. That was a lot of extra G's on the end of Singe. Anyway, Boy hits the shockwave onto Lil Saint. He's got no Fury stacked up, so it's a long time before he'll be able to remount. Wimbles takes a big chunk from the side from Matsuro, and it's just a shove in right now from ROTM. They're really nothing to assist them. They're just pushing in on this tower.
Yeah, and they're gonna get it, even with the minions going down there. And now you got to start looking at that Baron. Kled actually is going to be able to remount from the Baron. Hitting Baron here, so he's not going to be as weak as he looks, but no, it doesn't quite make it. He can Q over, so he'll be in there, but I like Saint here electing. It looks like he's going to go for Sunfire, actually. But yeah, there's just really no way to contest this.
Yeah, Q over the wall does about half of Bam's health as he was just looking. Baron gets taken from him. And now with the 13,000 gold lead, ROTM resets, and they have the opportunity to probably push in this bottom lane. I would imagine that's the freest gold on the map.
Yeah, actually, how long is Drake up? I have to ask because I don't have the objective timers again.
1:15 before the next dragon.
Yeah, so here you just use your mid lane pressure. You don't really need to put someone in mid because that's already auto pushing. So I think you just group bot here, put wards down in the enemy jungle, and then get your soul and end the game.
Super easy, just that step.
Yeah, you can't really contest if you're UFE. Just kind of look for a steal probably from Bam, but RTM just forcing them out of their own jungle.
Yep, pushing on in, free gold. Falling down. And RTM threatening now. That wave gonna crash in mid lane before too long. They just need to stand here and empower the minions.
Yep, reinforcement wave coming in.
And Wimbles is the one set to clear right now. So they're without the Jax, who's probably the strongest member on their team. Maybe Busty is, but they're going to knock down the front door. Kled just charging on in. They find Jedediah. Hinkle is the first kill. Rocket not quite able to find Busty at the end of that one. Wimbles just trying to do what he can. Almost gets the stun. Duvranga, a little bit of dissynergy there from the two members of UFE. Scrams is in. The Curse of the Sad Mummy gets almost a solo kill onto the Caitlyn. Takes down Boy as well for the double kill. Lil Saint is looking for Bam. Scrams is not, and they're going to just trade out. Matsuro survives with the shield, and ROTM with an 18-point win, 21-3. They got 3 touchdowns to the field goal for UFE. They'll knock this one down and take the 2-0 into week number 3.
Yeah, another great series there by RTM. Just 4 straight stomps. I mean, they played really well. It wasn't quite as big of a stomp in the early game, but by the late game score, really, really well played there. RTM just firing on all cylinders in this series.
Yeah, not much more to say than that. RTM another dominant 2-0 victory. They'll advance to 2-0. UFE going to fall to 0-2. We'll see what happens next week. But so far, 4 up, 4 down for Harvest. None of it looked particularly, outside of a couple of moments, a couple of sequences, haven't really been challenged thus far. So we'll see where they go for next week. But yeah, for now, that's all for us for the week. Our next cast is going to be next Monday with these boys. I'm going to flip it over to Runeterra Academy. Their junior division finals right now between OMTC and No Org Frost. Should be a banger. It's the last cast ever on the Runeterra Academy channel, as far as I know. They might
Yep.
get extra cast next season, I don't know, but go support them. If you have any stream points on their channel, you can enter a drawing. So yeah, go say hi to Red.
Get rid of your stream points now. It'll be the last time ever, so you might as well spend it all.
Yeah. So go say hi to Red. Say goodbye to Runeterra Academy. Cry deeply. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Try not to cry. Cry a lot.
I got my rosé and tissues already out.
Alright, we rated